Hey guys, so this is part two of the 100-pound weight loss journey. So let's get into it. So yesterday we were talking about when I didn't do my legs for 2.5 years. So the reason behind that was because my body was always unproportioned. My legs were smaller than my upper body when I was bigger. So I wanted to target the back, the arms, and the upper part of my stomach because that's where I have my most issues, especially with my stomach. So I focused on just those things for 2.5 years. I let the elliptical do the work to build the strength for my legs that I was going to use later on down the road. So now, or actually when the 2.5 years passed, I started to slowly work on my legs. I was doing little things on my legs. Now that I've gotten down to the weight that I need to be, building muscle on my legs. So I've amped up those weights significantly. I probably push about 200 on my legs, and I'm hoping to do more because I don't have big thighs and I don't have a huge bum. I mean, I do have fat in my bum. I just have to work it to build it up. So that's what I'm doing. At the same time, always working on my stomach. I don't think that there's a time that I did any machines in the gym and I didn't do my stomach. Even if I'm doing back, I'm doing stomach. If I'm doing legs, I'm doing stomach. If I'm doing just cardio, I'm doing stomach. I do stomach every single day. And there's a few machines that I use. That I've already put on the clips, on the shorts, sorry. And so yeah, I do those routines rigorously, and I find that they're easy. They're easy ab workouts, but I incorporate the stomach workouts in every single workout. Even if it's just one, I at least do one, something, because I know that the stomach was a big part of my issue. Big, So also I wanted to talk about being realistic and setting realistic goals for yourself. Now, if you know that you're not going to start the journey and you're not going to, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I feel for me, I don't want to speak for anybody, and I don't want to put down how anybody handles their thing. Some people need that strict discipline. They need it, But for me, it's just be realistic within yourself about what you want. Do you want to lose weight because you're going to a wedding and you need to drop a few pounds and you're actually comfortable with how you are? Or do you really want to change? You really want to make a lifestyle change? You want to feel better? Do you want to lose a significant amount of weight? Wear smaller clothes? Feel more comfortable? It really depends on what you want for yourself. Me, like I said, I didn't want a diet. I wanted a lifestyle change. I wanted to incorporate the gym in every aspect of my life. You understand? I wanted it to be my sport. I wanted it to be something that I loved. I didn't want it to be something that I hated. So, which is why I don't spend hours in the gym, because I don't want to feel like I don't like to feel obligated or feel like I'm being pushed. I want to do it because I love it and because I'm passionate about it. So, and that's where I am with it right now. If I even go to the grocery store, I put on my gym clothes, because even if I can get in there for 20 minutes, at least I went in there. Yesterday, I met up with a friend at the gym and we were talking and stuff. So I went in, I did the elliptical for like 15 minutes and I was like, I'm going to leave. I worked out for 7 days straight. So today I decided to take a break. I know when it's time to take a break. And also one thing I don't do is I don't have cheat days. The reason why I don't have cheat days, the myth behind my theory behind that is the fact that we always go to birthday parties, we have celebrations, we have all kinds of things going on, or we celebrating something in the community. So I use those as my cheat days. I could go on my calendar and say like different birthday dinners I have to go to and different stuff. So what I do is I use a calendar that I can visually see, and I write down all the birthday dinners or events that I have to go to that include food. And then I'm like, why would I have a cheat day? I have like 7 cheat days on my calendar because I'm going to like 7 different birthday parties or events or whatever the case is. So, balance them out with that. Say those are your cheat days, because those are the days that you want to be around your family and friends. You want to eat and indulge a little bit more. And then the next day, just get back on your on your journey. Don't think about it. Don't let it stress you out. Just move forward. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, also I was yesterday we talked about La Belle Province. No, I made a mistake. I meant to say La Belle and Le Boeuf. So if I go get a burger, it's usually at La Belle and Le Boeuf, not La Belle Province. And like I said, I go to La Belle and Le Boeuf because there's different selections of burgers, and there's different selections of the meat, the grade, and also the buns of choice and the sides. I could choose sweet potato fries. I could choose rice. I could, I have options. So that's all I was saying. Go somewhere where you have healthy options. Those are always the best restaurants. So I also want to talk about the pictures, because it's been very difficult for me to post the pictures of my before and afters. I've showed them to my friends. I've showed them to my family, but I don't know what it is. I had to ask myself that question last night because I wanted to put them up. I've never posted them on social media. And I think with me, I think looking at those photos brings up a lot of feelings. And you'll find that sometimes if you go back, if you lose that amount of weight, you'll look at certain photos and know where you were in life when those photos were taken and how you felt, So that's why some of the photos for me are difficult to put out, not because I don't want to share them, and I will share them on this platform. I'm just waiting for the right day, the right time, but just the way that I felt, I think in the photos, and that was the reason for me not posting them right away or posting them on the screen when I have put up the part 1, right? I haven't even posted them on social media. The first place I'll probably post them will be on this platform, but I don't know if I don't know if it's a mix of, looking at the photos and feeling a little bit embarrassed that I had let myself get that far, or how I felt in the picture, because I know the things that I had going on in my life at that time. You know what I mean? But I know that when I look at those pictures and I look at the other picture, I'm happy that I fought for myself. You know what I mean? I also wanted to say that another thing that I had thought about. So I had started, when I talked to you guys yesterday, I was telling you I'm 45. I'll be 45 June 6th. I always say I'm 45, so I'm closer to 45 than I am 44. So I started the journey, though, when I was 37. I told myself at 37, I'm going to be 40 soon. If I don't start to change the way I'm eating, the way I'm living, the way I'm feeling, I'm going to come into 50, which is 13 years from now, and I'm going to be the worst version of myself ever, And I already didn't feel good at 37 about the way that I looked, or the way that my body looked, the way I felt. Because like I said, it wasn't just, it was 50-50. It was mental, and it was the way the body, the way I felt about myself when I looked in the mirrors, the way I projected. You know what I mean? I didn't feel good. I didn't feel happy. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do things. So I knew I had to change that. So I said to myself, when I turn 50, I'm going to be the best version of myself that I could possibly be for myself. And I'm going to do it for myself. And, I've said this to people before, that when I had my kids, it really, I was taking care of them every day and doing things for them every day. And after, I had to find out who I was, because when my kids have reached over the age of 18, they were doing their own thing, and I didn't even know who I was. I had to figure that out for myself, and I had to figure out what I like, what was my passion. I had poured so much into them and what they needed since I was 15 years old. I was a 15-year-old mom. So, and I came up here at 19, by myself, without my family and stuff. So I had my cousins here and everything, and they supported me. But, I was a young mom, and that's the only life that I knew. And I poured into everybody, and I didn't pour into myself. And at 37, I told myself, it's time. I have to pour into myself now. So we'll continue soon with the rest of the story. 10 minutes passes fast, I'll tell you that. Stay tuned, guys.